Hey, what's going on everyone? Dennis here, EDC for Fun. Thanks for checking out the video. Today, we're gonna take a look at this really cool little knife. This is the Fatboy from Off Grid Knives. So this knife was loaned to me by my good friend Chuck. Thanks Chuck for letting me check it out. This is one of his little beater EDC knives. He's got a few of them that he's let me check out. The Kershaw Shuffle, the Off Grid Knives Cleaver V2. Both of those are really cool. Glad I got to check them out and glad I'm getting to check this one out. Before we open it up, let's take a look at what I carried today. On the wrist, I got my Casio Duro. This is rocking the quick release Barton leather straps that I just put on there. Really happy with the way that turned out. Loving that. In the pocket, I got my EMP EDC Nimble. Loving this knife. It's got M390 blade steel, rocking my edge on there. It's a very capable, but also very fun knife. Lots of methods of deployment, and just really loving this thing. For illumination, I've got my Olight. This is a Warrior Mini. This is one of their limited seasonal runs. Titanium, gunmetal gray finish. Got the tail switch on the back. Nice light, I love it. All right, so this is the Off Grid Knives Fatboy. These can be had for around 40 bucks. You can see it's got stainless steel scales on it. And right off the bat, you can see their really cool logo is on this button. Now it's not a button lock, it's not an automatic knife, but what this button does, it actually actuates the liner lock. So we'll take a look at that here in a second. See, we've got some jimping on the spine, pretty thick blade stock. Got a flush fit with the liners all the way around. Some speed holes there. Not finished too well. The chamfering on there is a little bit rough or non-existent really. Got a tip down only clip, which a lot of people aren't gonna like, but it's really not the end of the world. What I don't like though is that the clip hides the pivot screw. So if you want to do any adjustment or takedown or whatever, that clip's got to come off before you can do anything else. Overall, it's got a really nice look to it. So go ahead and open it up. It's not the easiest knife to flip out like that, but you can definitely do it. And what we're looking at is an AUS 8 blade that is hollow ground. Really nice swedge on the top with some jimping on the spine here. Very comfortable in hand for a small knife, even though this is like a 2.5 or 3 finger knife. It actually does feel really good. You can get a solid purchase on there. But this AUS 8 steel is very similar to your 440, your 154 cm. It's going to be, you know, decent in most areas. Corrosion resistance, edge retention, toughness, that kind of stuff. Nothing, you know, super crazy. It's not a super hard steel, but that means that it is easier to sharpen. So these are really nice as far as something that, you know, you don't have to worry about using diamond plates if you don't have them to get this thing sharp. So this is rocking the factory edge. The bevels are actually not that bad. The grind's actually not that bad. Like I said, it is a hollow grind. It's pretty decent. You can see it's a little bit larger back here. Almost has a bit of a recurve to it. This is like a $40 knife though, so I'm not really complaining about it. But it does slice really well. So I've got some cardboard here. Just take a look really quick. And this thing is basically like a cardboard warrior, or really what I can really see this thing excelling at is if I'm on, you know, a construction site or whatever, and I need a sacrificial knife to plunge into, you know, like a bag of concrete or something like that, or even doing landscaping and just opening different bags and stuff, doing yard work or whatever outside. You need something that you can, you know, kind of toss around and beat up without really worrying about it. It's definitely going to hold up, and if you lose it or, you know, damage it or whatever, 40 bucks is, you know, it's not an insignificant amount of money, but in the grand scheme of life, it's you know, it's not the end of the world if something happens to this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this little button liner lock thing here. So as you can see, when I press this button, get a little bit closer here, it moves the liner over, so then you can go ahead and close the blade. And this is definitely not drop shut. It's running on bronze washers, it actually had these little, grab this over here, had these little Teflon things in addition to the bronze, which you can see in there. And I took these out just to see how it would run without them, and it basically made no difference. But yeah, definitely not like a drop shut knife or anything like that. This thing is not necessarily what you would call, you know, a fidgety knife, little flicky knife. It's this thing's just made, you know, just to go to work. And I did try loosening that pivot, which again is behind that pocket clip, to see if I could get the action to loosen up at all, and without producing blade wobble, you really can't do it. So with it tightened to where it should be, this is your action here. It does have a really attractive blade. That swedge looks awesome, and the satin up top looks really good. You got the lines going this way, and then on your hollow grind you got the lines going this way. So it definitely looks really nice. It performs very well, and for a heavier knife it does carry nicely. I'm gonna weight on it real quick. So 4.9 ounces for this tiny little thing. But the nice thing about that is you feel it when it's in your pocket. So sometimes with smaller knives, you might be afraid you're gonna lose it, but not with this one. You'll notice if it's not there. So we got a weight on it, and we'll just go ahead and really quickly just do a little size comparison. This is my MKM Asanzo, another small knife. You can see the Asanzo is a little bit longer, but does have a smaller cutting edge. It's definitely in the same realm though. Here's a stick of chapstick. You can see this guy's definitely small. We're looking at basically 3 inches, and open. We're looking at about 5 and we'll call it 5 1/4. Here it is, by the way, next to, I've got a pair of 3 here next to that. I mean, it basically makes a pair of 3 look like a PM2. It's a chunky little boy. It is tall, you can see. It's basically got the same height as a pair of 3. As far as thickness goes, it's actually a little bit thinner. So overall, I think this is a fantastic little knife. You know, it's not the most trendy or you know, the most fidgety or whatever, but it definitely works. It looks nice. It's got some things that, you know, I'd probably change, but for $40, not a lot to complain about. You can certainly get stuff that's, you know, better value, but this is something that's just a little bit different. So with that being said, guys, I just want to thank you for watching. Please leave me a like and a comment. Share the video. If you're not subscribed, please do that. And I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. God bless you guys. See you.